Christopher, Cheryl, Kenneth, Roxanne, Yvette, Patricia, thank you all for this coming to hang with me Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That hasn't changed. You all give me the encouragement to do what I do. I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and all those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. And I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. Hi, Miss Merle. So let me start one time. One time, one time. Strumming my pain with his fingers. One time, one time. Oh gosh, I love the Fugees, you know. Let me see this thing here. Killing me softly with his words. Okay, I can't sing. I could talk. I better talking. Killing me softly with his words. Throughout my whole life. Hey, oh gosh, all yeah. Let me start eating one time. So, hi Emmeline, hi Dandy. So I'm seeing here that Caribbean Village Cricket T20 tournament bowls off a celebration of culture, community, and cricket. So Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, May the 2nd, 2025, Caribbean Airlines. Hi, Miss Gloria. Right. Caribbean Airlines' much anticipated Caribbean Village Cricket T10 tournament has returned for its second year, uniting the region through a shared love of cricket and culture. The tournament forms a part of Caribbean Airlines' cultural program, which showcases the vibrancy and diversity of the Caribbean. In a thrilling kickoff on Sunday, the 27th of April at the Everett's Cricket Club in Guyana, the Berbice Cricket Club emerged as the Ghana's county winners, defeating last year's overall champion, the Marara Cricket Club, to earn a coveted spot in the championship finals. This weekend, that was then, Trinidad and Tobago round of the competition will take place at the National Cricket Centre, Balmain, Vancouver, with matches scheduled on May the 3rd to the 4th and May the 10th to the 11th, starting at 9 a.m. daily. 16 local teams will compete to get a place in the finals. The excitement continues on Sunday, the 18th of May, with matches being played simultaneously in Antigua and Jamaica at the Antigua Recreation Ground in St. John's and the Noranda Sport Club in St. Anne's, respectively. Notably, Antigua joins the tournament lineup for the first time this year, adding even more regional flair and friendly rivalry. All roads lead back to Vancouver, Trinidad on Sunday, June the 1st, when the country's winners from Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Antigua, and Jamaica will clash in an electrifying final to determine the Caribbean Village Cricket T10 champion 2025. In true Caribbean Airlines style, patrons attending the matches can look forward to a vibrant atmosphere, prizes, airline tickets, and branded tokens, with a notable cash prize awarded to the tournament's first, second, and third place winners. Speaking on the significance of the tournament, Caribbean Airlines CEO Gavin Madeira stated, Caribbean Village Cricket is a celebration of our shared Caribbean heritage, and we are proud to play a part in bringing our people together, just as we do every day with our flights. Cricket, like Caribbean Airlines, connects our people and communities, and this tournament reminds us that wherever we are in the region, home is found in the friendships, culture, and passions we share. Caribbean Village Cricket reinforces the airline's commitment to celebrating and preserving Caribbean identity, acting as a unifying force across islands, much like Caribbean Airlines does through air travel. With each bowl and boundary, the tournament captures the heart of the region's its people. Caribbean Airlines invites all cricket lovers, families, and community supporters to come out, enjoy the matches, and cheer for their favorite team in this vibrant display of regional pride and unity. So Caribbean Airlines and the CEO, Mr. Medina, I do all this. Hey, link me, hey, I could get linked too. I is not an influencer. link me. But people, on a serious note, Caribbean Airlines is stepping up, and they're using cricket as a way to connect the Caribbean just as they do with the flight. So big up, big up, big up. And in Trinidad, in Balmain, Vancouver, our matches start May the 3rd to the 4th and May the 10th to the 11th. And then they go across to the Caribbean, and then they come back on Sunday, June the 1st, where the winners between Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Antigua, or Jamaica will play in the finals. So people go out and support. You know, the only thing that stops cricket is rain. Yeah? So we come, hi Sarah, hi Serene, hi Rena, hi Ron. What's up? What's up? What's up? People are also seeing that Carl, like in everything. Wait till they have here now. You know, always some good news segments. I just bear with me. We must have something to celebrate. Let's get like something to talk about. So I'm seeing 3 hours ago in CNC, 3 news, but it will be 3 hours now. Hi, Hadara. Caribbean Airlines roll out wireless in-flight entertainment to its regional fleets. UNC start to complain. Okay, we go come to that. Over the coming weeks, Caribbean Airlines, and if only find I forget it, somebody remind me. Over the coming weeks, Caribbean Airlines will introduce wireless in-flight entertainment to its ATR fleet. The airline sold Boeing 737-800NG, which currently operates between Kingston, Jamaica, and Florida, will also receive the upgrade. Content will be delivered via the Caribbean View interface and will offer movies, TV programs, music, games, and a moving map. As with the economy, captains, as the economy cabin of the 737-8 fleet, passengers will need to use their own devices to access the content. The system will not offer external internet access. Last month, the local carrier signed a partnership with Scotland-based Blue Box Aviation Systems Limited to provide the Blueview Wireless In-Flight Entertainment IFE system. The Blueview Wireless IFE system is used by several international carriers, including Air India, Air Japan, Royal, Jordanian, and Qantas. CAL and Blue Box Aviation Systems previously worked together on the airline's old 737-800NG fleet. In a media release, Kevin Clark, Blue Box Aviation Systems, said, "We are delighted to welcome Caribbean Airlines back to the Blue Box family. Their decision to expand Blueview across the ATR and Boeing NG is a further testimonial the quality and flexibility of our solution. We are especially pleased that Caribbean Airlines appreciates our intuitive and passenger-friendly graphical user interface design, enhancing and passenger experience on board." Hey, nah. Caribbean Airlines only have to give me something, boy. Caribbean Airlines CEO Gavin Madeira also said, having previously experienced Blue Box reliability and user-friendly interface on our fleet, we are happy to bring Blueview to our passengers and to introduce it to our ATR fleet. With the expansion of our network and the ATR being used on more routes, it was important to introduce reliable IEF. Yeah, so Caribbean Airlines link it like 2 things. I beg all that for. Yeah, all the cricket and all the blue Wi-Fi and all that. Come now, man. I want to win too, you know. I'll be coming to that. So I just wanted to play this for you. I wanted to play this for you all. And again, actions or inactions have consequences. So listen to this.
Maybe y'all saw the news out of Nebraska today. Apparently our entire state is going to go bankrupt in 2 quarters. Me and my husband owned a cattle ranch here, and I can confirm that all of the cattle ranchers here overwhelmingly voted for Trump. We support him. We voted for him. Something like 70% of our entire workforce is undocumented immigrants, and they straight up are not showing up for work anymore. They have all either fled the country, fled the state. They don't want to get raided while at work, so they have just moved on to work somewhere else. And straight up, we are going to go bankrupt now. We are going to go bankrupt. And we voted. We knew that the immigrants would get deported, and he was coming after immigrants. Yet we still voted for it. Overwhelmingly voted for our own demise. I was talking to my husband last night, and I have to admit that it seems a bit foolish now when you think about it like that we voted for something that is now putting us directly out of business.
All right, so that is we call them cattle ranchers or dairy farmers in America. Excuse me. They are saying that they voted for Trump overwhelmingly, although they knew he said he was going to deport the immigrants. And their cattle, the dairy farm is, all the workers are immigrants. But they still voted. And now, because of the massive immigration, what do you call it thing? Well, they help mass deportation of immigrants. They are not coming out to work because they're afraid to come on the farms to work in case they get whole. And I think that is happening in all them farms and them in America. So she's saying they're going bankrupt and they voted for their own demise. Actions have consequences. Hi, Sharon. Action has consequences. So let me continue. So I'm seeing that Joke is saying that he will fight. I don't know what he's fighting for, but he says he will fight. Let me see what he says he would fight for. Give me a minute. Right. Hi, Maria. Hi, Leon. So this was the 5th of May, 2024. 2025, I mean. CNC3 again. Elizabeth Gonzalez story. Progressive Democratic Patriots PDP leader Watson Drew says he will not stop fighting for Tobago despite his party's failure to secure a seat in last Monday's general election. We will not stop until Tobago wins. We will not stop until all our we win in Tobago. Drew vowed in a voice message posted on social media on Sunday night. Drew, whose PDP candidates lost in both Tobago and East. Why are they doing my this? Drew, whose PDP candidate lost in both Tobago East and Tobago West, said the party will continue pushing to represent Tobago, whether in the next general elections or at the Tobago House of Assembly. Now that elections are over and the two individuals from the East and the West have been selected by Tobago, we in the Progressive Democratic Patriot must continue to look for our day, look for our opening, he said. Duke thanked supporters who turned out to vote and those who helped him campaign across the island. I said thank you to those persons in Tobago, East and West, who went to the polls and voted, he said. I want to say a particular thank you to Curtis Douglas, who stood by my side as we campaigned throughout the East and Tobago West, making known our plans for a Tobago we all have to win. He praised his campaign team for going into the highways and the byways of Tobago, nooks and crannies, spreading the message of the people of a better Tobago, a Tobago we all must win. Duke also said he was grateful for a peaceful election. We are extremely thankful again for the environment where Tobagonians can go out and exercise their franchise freely without being harassed, without being provoked, without being cursed. We must never take these things for granted. Excuse me, so that is from Duke Day about the fight. I saw Farley Chavez Augustine, in my opinion, trying to console Tobago like they win something. And I also saw Faith Brignon, I think that's her name, supporting as if they win something, they're going to fight now, something to that effect. And I'm saying, Farley's conversation before the election was that the two Tobago seats, when he win them, he is going, I'm paraphrasing people, he is going to go to Trinidad and he will make the decision who he linking with because it's about the best for Tobago, right? That was he talk. Now the UNC came and win 26 seats, I think it is. TPP, that is Farley Party, get 2 seats. The PNM got 13. And as I said, congratulations to Brian Manning. They did a recount and he still retained the seat, just as Dominic Romaine. The UNC would have asked for a recount and he also retained his seat. So we still have 13 seats. So with Kamala under 26 seats, and if you add the TPP 2 seats, like 28 seats, it still does not give them that 2/3 majority where they could do any constitutional changes. With the 26 seats they have, they could pass anything with a special majority or simple majority or something like that. So in essence, they don't need Farley 2 seats. They didn't even give the Tomo and Notsi. That the name that I scholar, I ain't really know the people real name, Tomo and Notsi, who win the Tobago East and West seat. Kamala Bissassa in her lineup and started to name her cabinet and even give them a ministry or nothing. I ain't see the name called. So it means to say, Tomo and Notsi coming down from Tobago to sit down on the opposition bench, but in the backbenchers. So they can't talk, they can't do nothing. The most they can do is support the ruling party. So what power does TPP have? The UNC have no need for them, and which is, excuse me, a little dicey. The new minister of, I think, rural development is Khadija Amin. You remember there was conversation that Tobago does get too much money for them little bit of people because it's a corporation in this country and more people than them and don't get that amount of money. So this is my opinion. If you're not important to the UNC and they already had thoughts or they're getting too much money for the people they have, then we're really going to get Farley. What you have to hold the UNC to make them want to do what you want to do? So in the vein of that, I would have put up on the same chat that the rate Tobago going, I said it in the earlies, the rate Tobago going, if they continue with Farley, they could end up bankrupt. Just as they had ended up when they became a ward of Trinidad. And somebody who don't know the history trying to tell me I'm talking stupidness. So I hope the person looking now, because I want to just give them a small piece of history. Hi, Philo. Hi, fantastic Fiona. Oh, hello, Burnett. You ain't easy. You letting people know you fantastic straight off the bat. I like you. Announce yourself. Hi, Jennifer. Let me just give a little quick history of Tobago. So the history of Tobago covers a period from the earliest human settlement on the island of Tobago in the Arctic period. Though its current status as a part of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Originally settled by indigenous people, the island was subjected to Spanish slave raids in the 16th and early 17th century and colonization attempts by the Dutch, British, and French, and the Colanders, beginning in 1628. Though most colonies failed due to indigenous resistance, after 1763, Tobago was converted to a plantation economy by British settlers and enslaved Africans. Right. I just want to talk about the plantation economy. The Treaty of Paris in 1963 ended Tobago's status as a neutral territory and brought it under British control. A plantation economy was quickly established on the island, and under the direction of the Board of Trade, the island was surveyed, divided into 100 500 acres, that's 44/202 HA plots, and sold to planters. Between 1967 and 1970, between 1765 and 1771, over 50,000 acres, that's 20,000 HA of land, was sold by the Crown for over 167,000 pounds. Through the efforts of Some Jeanins, a commissioner of the Board of Trade and member of Parliament, the upper portion of the main ridge were reserved as woods for the protection of the rain and remain uncleared and uncultivated. Right? So it was a plantation economy. Let me read this part. After peaking in 1799, sugar production experienced a long, slow decline. Income for planters fell more sharply as sugar prices fell from a high of 87 shillings per hundredweight in 1799 to less than half that, 32 to 38 shillings in 1807. The abolition of the slave trade in 1807 put further pressure on the planters because the death rate among slaves exceeded the birth rate. The slave population was not self-sustaining. This drove up the cost of slaves, which impacted the cost of sugar production. Declining sugar prices led to a downturn in the economy of the West Indian Islands, including Tobago. And after emancipation in 1838, economic conditions did not improve. The price of sugar fell from about 34 shillings per hundredweight in 1846 to 23 shillings in 1846 and 21 shillings in 1854. In 1846, Sugar Duty Act removed protection from British West Indies sugar, forcing it to compete with foreign-grown sugar, which was cheaper to produce, and beet sugar, which was subsidized. The main revenue stream for the governments in the island was custom duties. So the decline in value of sugar export meant decline in revenue. In 11 of the 21 years between 1869 and 1889, the government operated at a deficit. The 1884 bankruptcy of A.M. Giuseppe and Company, a London-based financier which had provided credit, marketing, and shipping to many of the planters, was a severe blow to the economy of Tobago. Given a lack of money to pay laborers, planters in Tobago resorted to métivier, a form of sharecropping, which had been introduced to the Windward Islands by the French. In this system, planters provided the land, planting stock, transport, and machinery to manufacture sugar, while the workers provided the labor to cultivate and harvest the canes. In Tobago, métayers were frequently required to provide the labor to operate the sugar mill. The sugar produced was shared between the landowners and the métayers. Normally, half the sugar went to the métayers, but if the landowner provided a field of ration, resprouting cane that had been planted in prior year, the métayer, and I think that is French, METAYER, share was only 1/3 of 1/5 of the sugar, right? So basically, the system was first introduced in Tobago in 1843, and by 1845, it was generally adopted. While the system was largely abandoned in the other Windward Islands, by 1860s, it remained the dominant mode of production in Tobago until the end of the 19th century, when sugar production was fully abandoned. As Tobago economy declined, so did its importance. You hear the word? As the Tobago economy declined, so did its importance to the British government. To reduce the cost of ruling the island, the British government sought to unite Tobago with neighboring islands into a single administrative unit. In 1833, Tobago, Grenada, and St. Vincent were put under the authority of the governor of Barbados, but this had little effect on the power of the assembly. After emancipation, the participation of the elected members in the business of the assembly declined. Given limited participation and high rates of absence from meetings, the assembly voted to abolish itself in 1874 and replace the bicameral legislature with a single chamber called the Elected Legislative Council. This chamber consists of 14 members, 6 of whom were nominated by the governor and 8 which were elected by the planters. The planters initially objected to this reduction in their power, but this changed after the Belmana riots in 1876. Faced with growing militancy by the black population, the planters voted to dissolve their representative government and convert the island to a crown colony. The collapse of London-based financier A.M. Giuseppe and Company in 1884 further weakened the economy of Tobago. In 1885, the British combined Tobago, Grenada, the Senator Reddy St. Vincent St. Lucia into a single entity, the Windward Islands. This was a loose union while combined the islands under a single governor, but left local institutions intact. In 1887, the British Parliament passed the Trinidad and Tobago Act, which authorized the Union of Trinidad and Tobago. The goal of the union was to pass the cost of administrating Tobago from the British Crown to the more prosperous colony of Trinidad. On the 17th of November 1888, the act was proclaimed and the union took effect on the 1st of January 1889. The islands were united under a single administrative structure, which was based in Port of Spain, and a single governor, who had formerly been the governor of Trinidad. The last vestige of self-governance, the financial board, consisted of 3 elected members, 2 members appointed by the governor and a commissioner also appointed by the governor. The governor was able to dissolve the board without input from the people of Tobago. On the legal front, the Supreme Court in Trinidad gained authority over Tobago and had the power to appoint magistrates. Tobago's status was downgraded to that of a ward in 1899, with the Warden of Tobago as the chief governor official on the islands. The lack of Tobagonian representation on the Legislative Council led to calls for someone to be appointed to the council to represent the interests of Tobago. In 1920, Governor John Chancellor invited T.L.M. Orde, manager of the Louis de Oro estate in Tobago, to serve on the council, but Orde declined the invitation because it would have required lengthy absences from the islands. A.H. Cipriani, a Trinidad resident who owned large coconut estates in Tobago, was appointed to the position instead. And between 1920 and 1925, Tobago's interest was represented by residents of Trinidad. Black Tobagonians were willing to serve on the council, but the prospect was not acceptable to the political establishment. I won't read anymore, but what I would say is this again. When I spoke about Tobago being on the point of bankruptcy, and that is why they became a ward of the more prosperous country or island, Trinidad, is when I think in terms of Tobago now, tourism is down, investment is down. This whole thing about the autonomy bill, Farley had enough time under the past government, because this is something that has been going on for a while, so there's document, there's nothing new to do, more than probably 3 or whatever the case may be. He didn't come because he wanted to do it under the UNC government, just a couple of seconds or whatever before that meeting to hear that bill, the autonomy bill. He sent a WhatsApp message saying they were on consultation and whatever, right? Because he tell himself when he to Tobago seat, he will be the deal breaker to get Tobago its full autonomy or whatever the case may be. That has not happened, and I doubt it will happen under this UNC government, who has no need to them. So what will Tobago get, especially if the trend are taught by the local government minister or whoever, that the money central government given to Tobago is too much money for them, because they only have about 65,000 people, and the corporation in Trinidad have much more people than that. So that is why I have always spoken about Farley and the way he behaves. And that's before all this come here now. Since last year, or even since the year before, I've been saying, if Tobagonians allow Fali to continue the way they're going, they will end up in a state of bankruptcy because there'll be nothing coming in and hardly anything going out. Right? So I just wanted to put that there. So the person from Tobago who trying to tell me I'm from Tobago, so I don't know. You could research and you could get the information there, right? So Fali have no weight. He have weight Tobago. Tobago Fali has no weight in this UNC government. He has none. He has nothing to play. So not C and Tomo can talk on all they behalf. Or they had two representatives who used to be fired. Shamfa Kojo Lewis and Ayana Webster Roy, who used to be fired, making sure they talk on Tobago's behalf in Trinidad. Or they want that, or they want TPP. Now the two men all they vote for, they may have no voice in nothing in Trinidad. Them just have to come here and sit down on the backbench behind the opposition. All they go there, actions have consequences. So let me continue. I saw a news source would have put on a page something to the effect that all of a sudden you're not seeing them reporting crime no more in this country. And she started to put up stats, stats, statistics of crime that continues in this country. And I was saying, it's true. So I'm asking myself in 2010-15, when we used to be saying that probably it was really true, we used to be saying that the newspapers do put crime when the UNC was in office. So people get the illusion it really didn't have much crime, but under the PNM, every day it used to splash on the front page. But it could really be true because this is 8 days now. And according to what news source saying, you ain't see no crime on the papers. And she shows stats where the crime is happening. And then I said, let me look on the thing and see where I could see something. I see something here with a man stabbed several times during an alteration. That's May the 5th, CNC3. I won't read the whole thing. A 24-year-old man remains hospitalized after he was stabbed several times during a violent altercation at Royal Bank, Guapo, Capdeville, Main Road, Point Fortin, around 10 a.m. on Saturday. The victim of Capdeville was stabbed in the left arm, shoulder, right side and abdomen, left chest, back, neck, and lower back. Police said a 30-year-old man from New Village, Point Fortin, claimed he had been liming outside the bar when an argument broke out. He alleged that the victim pointed a firearm at him, prompting him to draw a knife from his pocket and stab the victim multiple times. So the one put a gun on here and he put a knife and he dealt all them blows and stabbed. He's a karate man. I'm not trying to make fun or light of it, but I thought the next person was unarmed. I commented something, which prompted him to draw a knife from his pocket and stab the victim multiple times. The suspect ran off after bystanders intervened and later went to the Point Fortin hospital with an injury to his right palm. He could not explain how he was wounded. The victim was also treated at hospital and remains warded. So crime hasn't stopped because, as we say again, it's a human thing, and certain crime of passion and all that, police can't predict that unless a police is riding on the thing. But if what news source has observed is true, that is unfair. Because we don't expect miracles to be worked by this new government when it comes to crime, despite that the person who put there very big, that don't mean to say they could work miracles. At the end of the day, it's human beings. So print the robberies and print what is happening still. Let us people be aware and don't lull people in this false sense of security that everything is okay now because the UNC is in office. Because if that is true, then it goes back to what somebody said. I just saying, there was a conversation that when the UNC come in office, crime does be low. But when they leave office, the crime does be high, and people were making certain connections. I just saying, I don't know, but we would see how it goes. So today was the swearing in, not the swearing, Saturday was the swearing in of the UNC cabinet, and they have a very, very big cabinet, Papa, and have all kind of different ministries, so we have to go and look for place for them, staff for them, pay rent, all that. So I'm interested to see which one of the 1% going to get business. So if it's a 2% or 100%, or no percent. I want to see how they're going to outfit these buildings, who they're going to rent it from, what is the cost of renting the buildings, the cost to outfit it, the cost to pay recurring expenditure for staff. Those things we want to know, because remember they say they will do it better. Them come to fix it, because when UNC win, everyone win. So we want to see, and we want to see who really winning. So big cabinet again, going back, big money to pay out again in a time when we know the economy, and I will tell you why I'm saying the economy in 100, because me ain't no economist, but an economist would have said certain things. Well, they would have been saying it before, that the economy cannot, the promises that Kamala Persaud are making, it is not realistic. They were saying that, but a recent one came out since after the election, right? So the point I'm making is the cabinet, 32 in the cabinet, wow, yeah? Everybody gets something to do, and it is what it is. So I'm saying that Suruj Rambachan, this is what Suruj Rambachan is advising Kamala Persaud. And this is what he says. This was in The Guardian yesterday. Rambachan to Kamala, performance must trump loyalty. Former Foreign Affairs and Communication Minister during the People's Partnership Administration, Suraj Ramratan Rambachan says Prime Minister Kamala Persaud must lead with urgency, precision, and humility, or risk repeating same governance failure that voters rejected. While describing her return to power as historic and unprecedented, Rambachan said the time for celebration is over. And it is historic and unprecedented, but probably not in the way that all you view historic and unprecedented, but it is. Rambachan said time for celebration is over. Kamala has bitten Rowley and Stewart for their nasty, evil description of her. Well, the thing about it is Suraj Ramratan. Philip Alexander was given nasty descriptions of her, Jack Warner, Winston Gypsy, and so many others. So it's not a Rowley and Stewart Young thing, but they like to pass the buck. They are all coming now for shelter at her feet, he wrote in a memo style as a direct message to the Prime Minister. And you see again the imagery there, because he said something, she must lead with humility. And he talk about now, Rowley and Stewart and probably all of we coming for shelter at she feet. So that putting a picture as slave and the servant. Why you need to be so nice? That's why I just want to know what UNC people know. Some of them. All they win. Enjoy the win. Why the continued insults? It appears as if there's some type of insecurity. Because there's no need for you to rub in anything. Yeah, and people in the window rubbing nothing. And don't say who time now, who time. So you're rubbing it in. They all coming for shelter at your feet. Who want to be at Kamala feet? The imagery alone is sickening. But the imagery you want to project is that people coming with the cap in hand to beg. But then again, that is how some of them see people of African descent. However, some people of African descent just create that image on their own damn self. Okay. You see how some of them think about all that? But code was yellow and okay. So now, celebration over. We had to grovel at the feet at Kamala. But Rambachan warned that past experience cannot become a crutch. He urged Persaud to immediately establish a performance-driven government with targets rooted in the promise made on the campaign trail. She does not have the luxury of time. He wrote, within the first week, the message must be sent. Fear should not grip her mind, where responsibility to the electorate is required. He urged the Prime Minister to assign each member to identify and resolve 100 citizens' irritants in their constituency within the first 100 days. pointing to delays at government offices, drugs shortages, potholes, and water distribution as urgent national issues. He also called for an internal culture shift amongst ministers. Several ministers of the UNC now in government are perpetually tardy. That tardiness must be spoken to despite how loyal they have been. Loyalty must not trump leadership and performance. Ramachan said ministerial roles should not be treated as political reward. A minister is both a leader and a manager. As a leader, you must inspire. As a manager, you must deliver. And while he welcomed union support for the coalition on the campaign trail, excuse me, he made it clear that governance now demands a new mindset. The unions are now part of the governance process. It's not only what we want, it is what we must give. So he is sending a clear message to Kamla Persad-Bissessar, excuse me, that she must lead with precision, humility, and that all was spoken, even as again she only point out two people. And with that people right in she party right now, they too was talking nastiness about you, right? I don't know if you're going to nastiness is truth. If the truth is nasty, well, they will grovel at your feet. And now we're letting the unions know. Here we're going on, all your party governance structure now, we know what time it is, eh? Right, so that is Suresh there giving Kamla Persad-Bissessar advice. I see our next person also giving advice. In fact, complaining. All remember the man, what is his name? Stephen Geddes, who it was it Keith Noel, something was an employee for him, and he used that to his advantage on getting to the governance structure and was the minister, I think, of trade or transport or some kind of thing, right? So I saw this on Ms. Sherma Wilson's page, and it's attributed to Stephen Geddes. He said, "Stop acting as though you didn't know." So apparently it's something that, let me just read it. Stephen Geddes in blue / "Stop acting as though you didn't know." And then it said, "Eyewitness to Kamla Persad-Bissessar cabinet," in brackets, Dr. Deven Maraj. "As you approach the 28th of April 2025 general election, there is time to confront the unvarnished truth about Kamla Persad-Bissessar, a so-called leader whose tenure as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago was a masterclass of negligence, incompetence, and betrayal. As a cabinet member during her disastrous reign from 2010 to 15, I sat in those cabinet rooms, witnessed firsthand the chaos and abandonment that defined her leadership." The person saying Gary Griffith would have said, "Kamla, as Prime Minister, had 5-day weekends, seldom making it to Parliament." And I will tell you something. They would have removed this whole thing. They removed the whole content of it. So I can't read the rest, but that's just a little piece that it have here. They removed the whole content. Right? So wonder why. So when Suresh Ramachan, speak about Kamla and being humility and thing, if back 10 years ago she had whatever strength and she was so bad at it, now 10 years later when her health has greatly deteriorated, you think she will be better at it? Well, actions have consequences. So Kamla Persad-Bissessar is saying that, let me get it for you. Hey, Marky, you rich boy? Marky, get on your gloves and don't dirty up your couch for me, please. Please, please. You don't want the visuals. So this is what Kamla Persad-Bissessar says. She's going to repeal the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority that is top on her agenda. So Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar wasted no time outlining her government's legislative priorities, naming the repeal of the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority Act as a first order of business, mere minutes after her cabinet was sworn in today. So that was a stream to bring in revenue, get all the agencies under one umbrella and collect taxes. The PSA didn't do their job to make sure that workers were protected. And we know what went on with that. Who didn't know me and feel to go back to that. So now we don't have the TTRA to collect taxes. Dave Tango, who is the Minister of Finance, is saying that all those who pay property tax, they get them back their money. And they're scrapping property tax again, so no money coming there. Kamala Services has also said that the Dragon gas deal is dead, it's done, gone. So we ain't getting nothing there. And the list goes on and on, right? So this is what she said to public officers. Remember, Leroy Baptiste Sunday, when he was the president of PSA, he would have joined the PSA to the UNC. So the PSA became a political party. And when the election was coming around, that's now when they were going about, Felicia Thomas was put to contest the position of the president. So they're going around and telling public officers, here what's going on. Vote and support the UNC because the UNC will give 10%. In fact, the starting point in negotiation will be 10%. I don't know if public officers buy into it, but we are where we are today. And I've been just simply asking, tell us what period is the 10% that we now have to go and negotiate for? Tell us what. So somebody was asking me, because I made a live on Saturday about 2 or 3 minutes, if I wasn't questioning Rowley government about that. There was no need for me to question Rowley government because Rowley government told you the 4% was for 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 6 years. So we knew what it was for. And there was a disapproval letter and people complained, whatever. But the point is, there was no need for us to ask the Rowley government or me to ask them what the 4% was for. And there was no need for me to ask them what the 5% was for because they told you it was the period 2020, 21, 21, 23. Unlike the UNC, unlike Felicia Thomas, unlike Leroy Baptiste, they have never told us the starting point of the 10%, what period is it for. So I see Leroy Baptiste. I want to congratulate Leroy Baptiste. You know why? Leroy Baptiste was a man who knew what he wanted. He hold the vision what he wanted. And he in business who he did step over any PSA or how he drag PSA or how PSA come. He come out of it. Minister of Labour. When all last year I was telling people that Leroy Baptiste, it is alleged, he, if UNC should win office, he gets in the Minister of Labour position, PSA people cuss me and say I'm making things political. Now today he is Minister of Labour. And I want to tell Felicia Thomas something. I see to have a page called Revolutionary Soldier on Facebook. Felicia Thomas, is that your Facebook page? Or one of your friends' Facebook page? I want to know. Because the only thing I used to tell Leroy Baptiste, call them so much dunce and consummate jackass. Leroy Baptiste never respond to me. Because he didn't business what I see. But you in office now and you can't take talk. So I want to ask if the page, Revolutionary Soldier, is your page. Because all they put up a picture on me. And decide all they drag me and answer all they suit. And like all they block me, I can respond. I'm going to tell you something, Felicia Thomas, if that is your Facebook page or one of your friend's Facebook page. I just get talk, I could take talk, but I want to tell you something. Watson Solomon Joke use you. And he leave. When you get? Leroy Baptiste come in and use you. And he leave. When you get? He's Minister of Labour. And they leave you with all the shit to deal with. Because now, public officers want the 10%. So don't study all it to have people to drag me I not running PSA. I'm here afraid talk because I just get talk. So if it's you or your friends and them had a page, you're a failure. That way they just have to call you Sasha stupid. So now people go see how stupid it is. You want to study me? Call me all kind. Oh, it don't matter what names they call me. I see claim myself, but you is a dance. And it's showing up how you is a dance. You get used just like a blasted close clip. That's our opinion I give in. Because all of them gone. Them going on to brighter, better things. And they leave you in all this shit in PSA where public officers want the 10%. And you saying that Kamala say that is the start of the negotiations. Well, why you ain't start to negotiate? Because let me tell you, the Minister of Labour, the man who was up there with you, or who was you up under, this is what he is saying. And then I will play with the Prime Minister is saying. So this is in the Guardian 14 hours ago on No Express. Labour Minister Senator Leroy Batista has assured public servants the United National Congress UNC government promise of a 10% increase will happen and the money to pay will be found. You see how the lie does go? All the time they're saying is the starting point is 10% that they go and negotiate. He become Minister of Labour and he talking big now. A 10% increase will happen and money to be paid. So that will be telling Felicia Thomas, go and take the matter of the industrial code because we want with 10%. Public officers want the 10%. The Minister of Labour said the 10% increase. Yes, how we put it, it's a hand on negotiation. So Sasha stupid. Go and take the matter of the industrial code, go in front of the CPO because they don't have to negotiate. Begin with 10%. We want with 10% because Leroy Batista, Minister of Labour, he is saying he has assured public servants that the United National Congress government promise of a 10% increase will happen and the money will be paid. I never hear Kamala Persad say we getting 10%. They said that is the starting point of negotiations, meaning you have to go and negotiate. But these guys, when they get too big for yourself, he get the office, he hyper. Okay. But he said on Saturday that Trinidad and Tobago spent a lot of money, including its annual budget of over 60 billion, and that a budget was also a statement of priority. And I want to tell the new Minister of Labour, with this big cabinet that Kamala Persad has, how much will the budget go up to? Because them people have to get paid, place at a rent, and rent is cheap. No one was making a priority of the workers, he said. And you didn't make a priority of the workers when you was in PSA, right? Not public officers, probably WASA workers. He said government goal was also aligned with the demand of the Constitution that the country's resources to be used to serve the common good. But he was speaking shortly after being sworn in as Minister of Labour, Small and Micro Enterprise Development at President House, Port of Spain. And let me stop there. All of them sit down in President's house. A shame for them. The same President's house when Rowley renovated because them leave it for the 5 years when there was day with the roof leaking, rubbish. That was a rent place for Pomona to live. And when Rowley renovated, fix it over today, they could sit down and then have ceremony. You think they easy? And even the Red House, they inside they proud and walking in. Who fix it? And all it cost Rowley. But all they sit down in the President House in pride, like all they build something. Hey, what? Right, let me continue. He told me that top amongst the priority would be the legislation change that balances the framework from workers and the working class. Let me tell you something. Don't let Leroy Batista fool all you. Leroy Batista is now, excuse me, Leroy Batista is now a part, he's an employer. He's not going against government policy for no worker. Don't let Leroy Batista fool all you. They ain't going to interfere with nothing in the legislation that will empower workers. So the workers to come back at them, the employee. Come now, let's think about it. The unions just fight for betterment of workers because they're fighting for workers. But when you come a politician and you're in politics and you're in the governance structure, you ain't gonna put nothing in place for the worker to strengthen a worker. You want to keep the worker under your foot. So don't let Leroy fool all about legislation change. He ain't going to change nothing. Better than he crow. McLeod was there from OWTU. Nothing. Mrs. Baptiste Primus was there from PSA. What? Nothing. But as a labor leader, she was a fighter. I talk about they come when they come minister. Because remember, it's not what them want. It's the policies, government policies, the government, they are dictated to carry the policies of the government. So Leroy Baptiste can't talk by himself to talk about we get 10% and the changes to the framework and the balances for workers and the working class. That is a set of bullshit. And Leroy know that. They're not going to empower no worker for the worker to come to zombie them. Promising fairness to workers, but he said he was thankful for the opportunity to serve and believed that the government had an opportunity to make changes, including the support of Tobago. Leroy Baptiste against the fooling people. The UNC don't need not 2 Tobago seats, and anything constitutional, they can't change it because they need 31 seats. Oh God, well, let's stop lying to people now, or they win. Just run the blasted country, or let's all can do it better. Stop the lying, man. Gosh. Ask about, but he said dealing with the legislative framework also meant looking at the Industrial Relations Act as well as the Retrenchment Self-Run Benefit Act. You think they're going to strengthen that in the favor of workers? Come now, workers. Think. He's no union leader again, you know. He's the Minister of Labor for the government. He on the government side, he is the employer now. He no longer employee. They're going to fix the Industrial Relations Act and the Self-Run Benefit Act to benefit workers. Where workers can take them to court every minute and workers think I get money? Come now, man. A union leader go talk that talk. Asked about Prime Minister Kamala Persaud's sister campaign promised that public servants would receive a 10% increase under her government, but he said the UNC administration and the government of the day have promised no less than 10%, and I assure you it will happen. Oh God, Leroy, that is not what all they say. All they say the starting point of the negotiations is 10%. Now you're talking as if they're going to give it, go ahead and give your more liberty. Leroy, let me give you some advice. Don't get too big for your breeches because they can remove you as a senator. Don't get too big. Nobody will vote for you. Don't get too big and start to talk out of time and check with your prime minister, mister. Them never say they're giving no 10%. They say the starting point of negotiation is 10%. You start to run your mouth like you run things. It's just a senator. Nobody vote for you. Ain't with no seat, you know. It's not Tanko and them, you know. All right. You will come back and say, Frederick, let's say, but he said the constitution was clear that the economic and material resources of the country were to be used to serve the common goal, the common good, and it just wasn't so in the last 10 years. He assured the country that the undertaking by the UNC to make workers a priority was consistent with constitutional demands. He said we spend money all the time and we call in a raise of pay accepted by the former government leaving office, but money was not available when it came to paying workers. Oh God, you see that I tell Leroy, you going to get that money. Leroy, all are going to benefit from that same money, Leroy. Come now, man, minister. All are going to benefit from the increase in it. So we're talking and you must be happy. So we're talking about. All I feel like a fool people, but Leroy is usually blasted. Hypocrite. Look, I don't. I'm not able with this that I lie. I'm not able with this that I lie. I ain't able. Leroy, all the win and all the gain, not like all the get nothing. So let me play what Kamala Persaud's sister said. Because me and here she said we getting no 10%. You're not easy. All they go there, so they feel like play with words and fool people.
Percent not guaranteed.
Before we can run off to do to put, what you said, the words follow the talk. You must just not just talk the talk. We must walk the walk.
Public servants 10% not guaranteed.
Because you win the election and you're getting to all the money, you're running place to place, so use it, Princess Margaret.
You want to play it again? I just want camera, the Prime Minister say.
Yellow is the code. Public servants 10% not guaranteed.
Before we can run off to put, what you said, the words follow the talk. You must just not just talk the talk. We must walk the walk.
Public servants 10% not guaranteed.
Camera Pasabi says so, just how she said. You see just how she said? Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar wasted no time outlining her government's legislative priorities, naming the repeal of the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority. Why she didn't say? Why it didn't read it? Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar wasted no time outlining her government's legislative priorities or her government commitment to paying 10% of public officers. Why we are saying no statement saying that? Why we not seeing, and is this, she said it here, the same tape I play? I take the picture of this, that's what she's saying that thing. Why it is we haven't heard Minister of Labour, Leroy Baptiste, that Kamala Persad-Bissessar say her order of business is to pay the public officers the 10%. All they feel all they could fool people are. So let me continue. So this is what Professor Roger Hussain had to say, and only listen to the words he used, because others would have said it. They may not take the others on, but they might take you on because Roger Hussain. I'm just going to read it. Oh, God, Christine, we know that your Prime Minister and you love she, go by she. Go by she and go by the live and everything and put up all the where you coming at we don't know that. That what I tell all you. All you win, but it's like all they not win. It's like all they not happy. Like if winning, you know, it have all still miserable because they all over the place. We know the code was yellow and all the win and all the Prime Minister. She's the best Prime Minister and she will lead God. She's a good woman. She's a mother. She's a grandmother. We go, African people go think that she fought. We got to bow to she. We go have to beg Mother Kamla. Okay. Why you here still to tell me all that? We hear all your win. Go enjoy your win and leave we losers across here. Then we talk to one another and then we cry. Go away the winners is where coming by losers for. Well, they are not a weak Prime Minister. That's why they're getting on, so we call it no she weak. Anyways, so TNT path to recovery will be slow, said Hussain. This was yesterday in The Guardian. Professor of Economics at the University of the West Indies, UWI St. Augustine campus, Roger Hussain, is predicting a long, hard road ahead and a slow recovery over the next few years as the new United National Congress government takes the reign of the economy. Let me read this part. Against the backdrop of sustained economic contractions and deteriorating macro fiscal fundamentals, the path to recovery will be slow and bounded by structural rigidities. People, anytime when they see the word structural, think IMF. Structural adjustment, structural rigidity, structural. This is IMF. So let me read what he said again. Against the backdrop of sustained economic contractions and deteriorating macro fiscal fundamentals, the path to recovery will be slow and bounded by structural rigidities. Outward levels remain sufficiently below 2015 benchmark, and potential gross domestic product, GDP, is likely subdued unless bold reforms are pursued. And those bold reforms come with structural rigidities. So when Kamala Persad-Bissessar being humble and the mother and the caring and say they're going to repeal the property tax and they're going to repeal the TTRA, and Tanku say he go give back the people who pay the property tax their money, and everything will be nice again. Ask them where they're getting money from. So listen to this. David Lee, who is now the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, hear what David Lee is now saying. Newly appointed Minister of Housing and Urban Development, David Lee, he's not a doctor, he have an honorary doctorate, so please stop putting DR in front of his name, please. He's not no doctor, he ain't have no PhD. Oh, let's stop it. Has acknowledged the overwhelming demand for housing as he settled into his first day in office, stating that the volume of requests already received is outpacing current capacity. No. When the PNM was saying that, what they say, not excuse and all kind of thing, your first day, you don't let people know, all they can get house, you know, it ain't have enough house. It don't have enough house for all here. So is it going to build, as Jolene John has said, 500 houses a week? Well, we want to see. It's still early days. But you don't know, you're not going in the office, that the demand for housing is overwhelming and it's outpacing the current capacity. All you matter. But voting are consequences. So let me continue. So he already promised, I thought it's a government for all, but Lee has promised water for, I think it's Cuba. You know, coming the dance. You're promising, no, you're promising water for Caroni. People ask under the thing. So I'm told we don't want water 2 hours. So this is what he say again. This was in the Guardian. Lee promises improved water supply in Caroni Central. Residents of Caroni Central can expect improvements in their water supply in the near future, newly elected MP David Lee promised yesterday. Lee, who has been appointed Minister of Housing and Urban Development in the cabinet of Prime Minister Kanwa Bisabisesa, spoke about his plans for the constituency during his victory motorcade through Crystal Cuva. He said he had already initiated discussions with officials from the Water and Sewage Authority to negotiate an increase in the water supply, which has been limited to twice a month for the past 9 years. They gave me the assurance that a better water supply will come to the people of Caroni Central in a very short time. And I can show people that because it was regulated, when they pull more water to give to Caroni, there's another area will suffer the consequences of that. So they go pull and Caroni people go, oh God, they get water every day now, 24/7, and another area going to ball, they ain't getting water. Promises, 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 promises. Why ain't say you're promising a better water supply for the whole of Trinidad and Tobago? No, for Caroni. So, well, let's listen to this. I don't know. So the new conversation is gas in Grenada. Excuse me. So Saturday, when I heard they're talking about going to Grenada, to get gas. I have family in Grenada. I called one time. I said, me not have gas by all the boy. Say what? I said, gas. Trinidad coming to thing with gas. And he said, oh, study that talk. We have no gas. I said, okay. I am seeing that Dr. Rulamulan, who is now the Minister of Energy, he is going to make links with Grenada and thing in the Caribbean for gas. It is as though he forget that since 2018, the former government under Stuart Young as Minister of Energy already have MOUs signed with Grenada, Suriname, Barbados. And what people need to understand is not that these places have gas, There's a potential. But in order to know the potential, there's certain seismic work you have to do first, and this testing and them thing does take. Let me read what it says. But before I go to that, let me just read this quick. So I saw this on news source page. And apparently, the YAHP, that is the Youth Agriculture Homestead Program. The participant of that program is urging Kamala to fulfill state's commitment to youth farmers. It was dated April 30th. It addressed to her, well done up, Subject, urgent appeal for fulfillment under the Agricultural Homestead Program. Dear Honorable Prime Minister, on behalf of the participants of the Youth Agricultural Homestead Program, we extend sincere congratulations to you and your government on your election victory. We write with hope and urgency seeking your government's commitment to a program critical to youth development in Trinidad and Tobago agricultural future. Launched on February 2022, the YAHP enrolled approximately 1,000 young people ages 35 and under, offering a certificate in agriculture from the University of Trinidad and Tobago, hands-on farm internships across Trinidad and Tobago, good agriculture practice training via NADEPCO, business plan development support from NETCO. Participants were promised upon successful completion 2 acres of state land with a 30-year lease, a starter home, a $20,000 grant, and an official farmer's badge. Honorable Prime Minister, many of us made significant sacrifices, leaving jobs, incurring transportation and living costs, to complete the program in good faith. Yet to date, fewer than 25 individuals have received their full entitlement. Hundreds of qualified graduates remain in limbo, waiting for what was promised. We also know that our counterpart from cohort 1 completed a program like us, with 167 allocated license to occupy LTO plots at Chatham Dairy Farm, though many parcels remain at various stages of development. The program, that UIA program, aligns with our national goals, expanding youth participation in agriculture, boosting food security and reducing imports by 2 billion, building agro-entrepreneurship and economic diversification by contributing 5% to GDP, promoting healthy and national consumption. Honorable Prime Minister, this program transcends policies. It represents hopes, opportunities, and the realization of state policy objectives. We respectfully urge your government to hold hands with us as ready farmers as your government delivers on the commitment plan, house, grants, and farmer badges to all qualified participants. We stand ready as partners in prosperity and national development. We would welcome a meeting with you or the relevant ministers to discuss the way forward as we stand committed to deliver our state policy agenda to the agriculture sector. Thank you for your cooperation. We look forward to your positive response. Respectfully, participants of the Youth Agricultural Homestead Program. So they don't put up, this is how they put it, that's the poster. I want to say something. The first 167 applicants who completed the 1 year at UTT, 1 year practical training on the land and the NADEFCO training and NETCO training on land, then get a starter house, the $20,000, the acres of land. Them had to say thank you, Father. They get it. You see them with a study program afterwards, and all the young people they say, I don't see no sense in voting. My vote don't count. I don't believe in no voting. Me a voting. That's why you vote when I come in. Young people, that way you vote 18 to 35, that way you vote when I count. Because if all they come out in all the numbers and vote, the program would remain. Because the PNM would keep the program. All they really feel cannot possibly say and UNC going to keep that program where all our land given away. Really? The 106 and all our land with house, money, and what? Let me tell you an indication how that program going through. The change in Ministry of Youth Development National Services, right back. the Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs. So the Youth Affairs will come back to the department, and the sports will be the major ministry. Which part in that are national service and Maya program and all that. But all they say, where's the sense in voting? All parties the same, the UNC just like the PNM, and they don't care what we're voting for. I hear CPEP and them and get paid. I hear lawyers from the Attorney General office, it was alleged, them had to go. And then we heard about the situation with the 400 and something WASA workers who were on a program with young engineers and all them things to work, who doing data research, this to make WASA more progressive and thing, all them's gone, it is alleged. This government that all they call modern and whatever, all they get tied up, you know. You know what this remind me of? Before I go back to the story I was reading. I remember it had this person, if you all had known. He saw a man at TV with a big stone in it. He was so good. The lyrics he had, the person who buying it had doubts about it. But he buy it because the man lyrics were real good. And when he reach home now, put on TV, nothing can work. Hit it, think they want to open it, and one big stone to get the weight. He come back and look for the person, but he ain't bring no police or nothing. He come back laughing because he said, if you could sell me who own business, how can I think with a big stone, you're good like that, whatever. And that's what UNC does do. The UNC good like that, they could package. The UNC could package. They could package BS. And when you're done, you feel it's a bottle of perfume. In your mind is saying it has to be BS, but oh God, nah, the package too good. I believe it might be perfume this time. So let me continue. So as I was saying, they say they're going to come up as a business and say Dragon Deal is dead. I want to tell you something. The Dragon Deal is piped away and the gas flowing one time. It ain't no work to do again more than pull the gas. Gas day. It dare. They have to dig, they have to seismic research, they have to do nothing. Lady blind, pass through Venezuela water, hook up to the Dragon, and gas flowing. Phew! They said that there, they want that. So they go in Grenada. Let me tell you about Grenada. Grenada Cabinet is meeting Monday, let me get the date, April 30th, 2012. Grenada Cabinet is meeting Monday to discuss its ongoing talks with Trinidad and Tobago, you hear, 2012. Who was in office 2012? Grenada's Cabinet is meeting Monday to discuss its ongoing talks with Trinidad and Tobago with respect to issues related to maritime boundaries. The Express newspapers reported Monday that the Grenadian Finance Minister is leading the talks with Port of Spain. It said Prime Minister Tillman Thomas said the Minister Nizamberg will say something to the media after Monday meeting. The Express reported on Sunday that technocrats have raised concern that there remains unresolved issues with a maritime agreement with Grenada that could affect the country's offshore oil interests. The paper said the concerns are over blocks TTDAA 28 and TTDAA 29. The TT Energy Minister opened the blocks for bid last week. Energy Minister Kevin Ramnarine announced that the government has already received 20 nominations for the 6 deepwater blocks up to bid at this year's deepwater competitive bidding round. The Express said technical personnel have also said they also concerned about the implication of this country's continental shelf as it relates to Guyana and Venezuela. Grenada entered into an agreement in 2008 that marked the common continental shelf between Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada. Ramnarine issued a statement Sunday in which he stated that Block 28 and 29 do not encroach on any maritime space related to Grenada. He said that they lie within Trinidad and Tobago maritime jurisdiction and are faced either close to or join the Trinidad and Tobago Barbados maritime boundaries. The Trinidad and Tobago Barbados maritime boundary was determined by the Arbitral Tribunal of the United Nations Commonwealth of the Law of the Sea on April 11, 2006. This decision is final and has accepted and adopted by both countries, he said. Given the seriousness of this matter, the potential negative economic consequences for the country, and the damage to our international reputation, the Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs will be issuing a more detailed statement in due course. I'm reading this to show you that these talks with these energy talks is nothing new for this country, right? With Grenada. But as I said, let me get it here. But as I said, it is not as simple as they want us to believe. Listen to this. This was April 25th, 2025. Any gas after Dragon. Why should readers care about this? Petroleum, particularly gas, is the backbone of our economy. The USD limit on a credit card is tied intrinsically to gas production. Finding oil or gas fields and getting them online is a lengthy process. Generally, the government has a bid round, putting out blocks for auction. These rounds may take 2 years from opening to signing a block to an operator like BP or Shell. Then exploration occurs, which means acquiring seismic data followed by drilling wells. This usually takes about 6 years. A chance of exploration success of 25% is considered very good, and in deep water it may be as low as 10%. Any discoveries may be appraised by further drilling, and then commercial evaluation takes place. This will be another few years. If all goes well, the project reaches FID, that is financial investment decision, and then the engineering to bring that field to life begins. A couple more years go by. It may be anything from 10 to 20 years from a bid round to first gas or oil. For example, the blocks of Woodside Calypso project was signed in 2012, and in 2025, FID had not yet reached. Many more factors than we can list will factor in and can change the time frames, right? So when Mr. MP Munilal speaks about going to Grenada to explore the gas field, Grenada has a potential, they don't have gas. It's now to go, bid rig, get a company to start the seismic research with his money, that'll take years. And then after when they start the thing, it's taking more years and all that. And Grenada did have a company there doing some work, but it's a Russian company, and they leave everything and go on. And America don't deal with no Russian company because of, the geopolitics thing and all that. So the point I'm making is this. Dr. Rudal Munilal always stop fooling people. Even if you're going to Guyana to talk, there's already things in place. MOU has been there since back in the day. Kevin Ramnarine knows about that, so you're going to do nothing new. But to try to see if they could start to get gas, it have a lot of work to do, money to put out, and it could take you 10 to 20 years or anywhere between there before you realize anything. Whereas with the Dragon gas, which has been there since in Manning time and before that, so the years has passed, it is just simply to put the pipeline in that was built up in Tatco, the place up in Labrador, and hook it to whatever tap thing in Venezuela, and it flow the gas. That is not so in Grenada. Not only that, any line from Grenada to come here with gas, it had to pass through Venezuela water. How are they doing that? We let a fishing boat just be out there and they drift a little, and the, what they call them? The Guardia Nacional does board the ship or hold the boat and hold the this. Last time they went and they climbed on a rig. The whole National Guard or whatever the hell you call them soldiers and them from Venezuela who don't make joke. There was a rig, I remember a couple of years ago. How much fishermen does get hold in Venezuela? We fishermen, because they drift in Venezuela water. So how are they going to pass any pipeline from Barbados or Grenada or wherever, and it has to pass through Venezuela water? How are they doing that? And then I say again, those things are not done in a year and 2 years. And if we want money, no, because Kamala say no property tax again, back the money, no TTRA tax, nothing, no collection of tax, nothing. Where we get some money from? Go to the, and again, when you go to the treasury, it ain't have a vault when you open it. Don't make people feel when they go, you can open a vault and see much money there. That is not what it is. And only know what it have in the treasury because the central bank just put out its quarterly, this, that about the economy and all. That's all they know. Don't fool people, make people feel, or they going in the treasury, open a vault and look in and say, okay, the money not up to the roof again, boy. The money almost to the ground. No, it ain't have no money stacked so there. Yeah, right. Or they're going to put back the exchequer come into overdraft by taking over the $10 billion or $1 million, whatever, like what they do last time. Where they get money from? Or they're going to raid the Heritage and Civilization Fund, use all that money, or they're going to First Citizen Bank and borrow money, or they're going to BP and them and tell them, or they want more money, or they're going to NGC, or they're going to Heritage, or they're going to stop the old age 65-year-old grant, or they're going to stop that because all of a sudden we go, here's not a pension, it's a grant, you know. Hey, where are they going to get the money from? And seeing that Professor Roger Hossain says that things go be hard. That's what he said. Things will be hard. And we have to practice structural rigidities. That is terms that are associated with the IMF. So people, I just want to tell you all. Oh, I see NT and TPP happy with the Kamala's new cabinet, and I don't know why they're happy. First of all, it is too big. One set of new ministries to create, and the caliber that she has now, it was Sarah than 2010. At least 2010, she still had the same Rambachan. She had Ghani, she had Winston Dukaran, she had Caroline Sipasad Bechan. Excuse. She had Mary King. Instead of people have some substance, just huh? It had people of substance, you know, some kind of thing. You may not have liked them politically because they're on the next side, but they had some substance. Who it had they now? Who it had to stand up and talk logically? Imagine Anna Roberts is a minister in the Ministry of Housing. Imagine that. The only person I see could make a good contribution was the Jolie John. And I think she going back and where she comfortable. I think she in transport or some kind of background. That's also like they split the two ministry. It's not works and transport no more, it's works. They split the education thing, so you go back to tertiary so and to size a next whole ministry there. If it's works so and transport, I said as a next ministry split so. Homelands, National Security split in about 4 or 3 or 5. That is new ministries and all of them have minister, staff and all that. Where we getting the money? Where we getting the money? So I just want to ask all you again, because that's the choice you all made. On April 28th, all they bought into the code. I always say the code is IMF, and you all bought into when UNC win, everybody win. I always subscribe to the view that when UNC win, it's them and the contractors and the friends and family win. Everybody not winning. The poor Indian in Barrackpore, Pinal, Gasparillo, Tabakit, Grand Couva, all them rural areas and all other areas, them ain't winning nothing. They vote UNC because that is what they do. They don't care how they are treated. Some of them, they vote UNC. That is what they do, and they will suffer in silence. Them ain't win nothing, and they know they ain't win nothing. And for the Eastern Corridor, who voted? Me and all they win. But we will see, because what we know, programs closing down and shutting down like that for one reason or the other. People ain't getting paid, people contract not renewing, it is going on. 2010, we used to hear about it, but now we actually getting the information about it because social media is more developed now. So we're getting it fast and furious. It's 8 days, whatever, and the amount of mayhem. But they sell all their TV with a big stone in it. And all they feel or they get something. They sell all their bottle of perfume with a load of bullshit in it. And all they think or they get a nice smelling perfume. That's what the UNC do. The UNC got that marketing. And they market, they have the product, and they market it and they sell it. And people eat it. You know they say with us, lick behind when we eat the doubles and all them kind of, they lick it down. When now people ain't get paid, who was campaigning for UNC, they gave them a piece of the money, they said their name wasn't there, they tell them, hush your mouth, don't come here and make no noise and stand up there. Yes, sir. But what did I say? The voice of the people is the voice of God. Now, it have plenty gods, eh? It have plenty gods and lords. I want to know which one of the gods the voice is. I reckon all here. Yes, we don't, Rick, oh God. Again, I say, all they have everything. All they say, all they want all the house, all the land, all the business, all they want everything. All they win the election. And you're still unhappy, Ricky, here to tell me that, okay, all they had the big house, everything, grateful, happy for, hooray, hooray. Right? Good. All they have everything, but you're still unhappy. You know why? Because you waste some, all they get what all they get, or they could never be happy. But when we get what we get, we'll be very happy and content because we know what blasted hard for it. We didn't say all Indians just do wrong thing and talking about some of them. When we work for what we work for, when we build what we build, and how we have, we'll be happy in it because we know we work for it. We know we deserve it. But somehow they can't live comfortably. They show me the Saturday at the when they had all the motorcade thing and whatever. A woman showed me an Indian man. If it's so dirty looking and drunk, whatever, she says, see, he living in one big house up there, but he in town every day begging. I said, what are you telling me? She said, one big house he owned. And does leave that big house every day and going to and beg like a vagrant in town for money. Why? Tell me why. Rick, answer me why. Why he doing that? I see a woman for myself too. She was even Grandy. She's a coming town and beg. There's a one big hell of a house she have in Grandy, but always in town begging. Why, Rick? Tell me why she doing that. Why is she not in she big house? And she veranda with she family and enjoying it. Why she have to leave the house and come in town, looking dirty, hand out an accent for $1.25 or one kind of thing? Why, Rick? Why is she doing that? Is it because the thing she do to get the house, she can't stay in the house? I just asking because you come to tell me all they have everything. Why all they be so unhappy in it? Why is all they go and drink? Some are all they are saying some. In Cora, all they go Riverline, all they just live good. Oh God, I like to see all those loud. Maxie's, the whole family, all they cooking everything. And as soon as two rum gets in some of their head, it a chop up, cuss out, fight, and run in the background. Why? Then it doesn't know who sleep with who daughter, who sleep with who husband, who interfere with who, and who. Why? Rick answer me now, because them thing is real talk. So don't come here to tell me where you have and where you have. All you have, we happy for you. Some of we Africans just play the fool. That is a fact. But who don't hear, go feel. But no class all away. You see, them different. Them Negroes and them who has gone to them different. Them not a my tribe. Them different. No class, we here with them. Them with all you. And I happy they don't want to stay with all this. So them will enjoy whatever code and whatever when whoever win. But I know you see them who was always supporting all you. They're balling now. Ain't that something, Rick? So as I was saying, NTA, that is Gary Griffith Party and TPP, them happy with Kamala new cabinet. And it just shows you how them is the one might be sitting at Kamala feet. Because what it is there to be happy about Kamala cabinet. I want Gary Griffith to tell me what is there to be happy about that inflated cabinet with those people who are chosen or who people vote for to go and sit down in the parliament. What you so happy with Anna Roberts in our ministry? What are you so happy with Khadija Amin in our ministry? What are you so happy with Virginia Mohit in our ministry? What is to be happy with? I don't mind the Jolinja because she's a walker. I just gave Jackie jacket. She could walk. So me and Bobby with she. What are you happy with Barry Paradat, their ministry? And as somebody mentioned to me, Barry Paradat, in my opinion, is making a claim. I wouldn't be surprised for Kamala Persad to keep cabinet meeting down in the Philippines. Because he got in the 10 years or whatever, he was in office and never. And as a person, people with industrial relation issues, they can't get PSA, they call me. I never hear nobody call from the Whitehall. If you tell me it's from the office down St. Clair there by the corner there, so I can't remember the name of the 2 street. I could understand that because it has some real problems there. But I hear nobody in Whitehall, like the one up there by Prada Road up there, so Whitehall. Me hear nobody complain about that. But I hear you don't complaining how they say the place flood and all that. I want them to tell us which one of the buildings he's talking about, because it have 2. It have that one down there in St. Clair proper there, so. And we talk the things, so let's talk anything, so don't study my vernacular. Down there, so, when you leave QRC and you're driving down that road there, so, it have a office of the Prime Minister there. And it has some problems in that building. And Whitehall is when you drive up the side of the Savannah there, so, by QRC, Whitehall. Me never hear nobody complain about that. So I'm saying, it looked as if Barry Paradat making a conversation to have with Kamala Persad keep cabinet meeting in the Philippines, because she said it before. And she came late, an hour later, understand, to the function where she ministers and then was swearing in and talk about some accidents. So I am saying, the Prime Minister is coming down the highway, priority wherever an accident. Let me tell you something. The Prime Minister entourage ain't going to stay stable in no traffic or nothing. That is a security breach. Whoever police on the scene will have to clear the blasted road for that entourage to pass. No hour, no Prime Minister sitting down on no priority and no highway because it have a traffic. That making sense. So I'm saying to myself, isn't Kamala Persad trying to make a claim to start back using the helicopter? To say because it had traffic on the road, the helicopter go get you there faster. I just asking, keep all your eye and watch and see how things going. So yesterday or Saturday, all members of Parliament all candidates who won their seats would have had the thank you, what you call it thing? Victory. Oh, thanking the people and the constituents and all that. Right? Everybody, whether PNM, UNC, whoever, right? So I hear in Sawa, oh God, I hear Saddam get on. When I say get on, motorcade is big, he bounce up with the next one who win, whoever. It was big. I hear it like themselves. I hear Indian man say he yellow from his heart, his body, his toe, everything. Oh God, they liking themselves. I hear Indian, African woman say, Maxi, she looking like, what are you doing here? Oh God, what are you doing here? Looking like a pommy one, what are you doing? Anywho's the win, the people deserve to celebrate, yes? So it had big celebration all over. They like themselves, whatever. My member of parliament did his, and I was just showing you all it. And we go. Forget them trolls and them, they had to come here and build my numbers. And all they could say, the code is yellow and we Kamala and we mother now. And okay, great. All they be happy with all their mother. All they happy with all their code is yellow. And, oh God, go and be happy and live with sour people by ourselves now. Oh God. We go deal outs, we deal outs. Jen, we go here and see flying. Yeah, well, of course. Every minute they're flying up and on me because she can't stay in that traffic. Anyway, Papa. So this was my member of parliament.
Your PNM.
So I want to thank everyone, thousands and thousands of people who have sent messages of support, messages asking that we continue. I want to thank Trinidad and Tobago for a very peaceful democratic process in the general election once again. We did our best. I know I did my best, and I look forward to representing my constituency, Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, with everything that I have over the next 5 years. Furthermore, I will continue to fight for Trinidad and Tobago. And I ask everybody, continue to support Young's Army. Young's Army!
Is that?
So that's how Member of Parliament, the Honorable Stuart Richard Young SC, does it in his constituency, Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, thanking the constituents for their support, and he won. Qatar's didn't win, of course. Me and see they get Qatar's a ministerial nothing, but hey, if Canada them not good for them, they better get Qatar something, because Qatar's will start again. Qatar's will start to get on that he can get something, or let get the man something. The man talk plenty, the man cost me, the man tell me all kind of thing for they no come now. Get Qatar something for me, please. Oh God, don't do him that. He work hard. Leroy Baptiste say work hard as Qatar's work, and Leroy Baptiste get Minister of Labor. Come, get Qatar something for me now. Oh God, get Qatar something. So let me see all who here. Hey, all leave Rick. Rick had to be here, so they haunted. They're not happy, I tell you. Them so much just drink beer rum when the evening come and sit down and study. Could have, should have, would have. Anyhow, let me see all who here. I want to thank Helen, Joel, Letta, Brian, Claire, Bernie, Nadine, Philmore, Bernadette, Andel, Kurt, Gail, Dawn, Natalie, Elizabeth, Charles, Kurt, Sarah, Susan, Philo, Susan, Heather, Shanice, Uriah, Dana, Karen, Chris, Charles, Fitzgerald, Rufin, Fantastic, Fiona, Burnett. She announced and she holds herself. Diane, O'Donna, Glenda, Michael, Jackie, Leon, Lynette, Victoria, Tessa, Diamond, Curtin, Ursula, Sharma, Kathleen, Gloria, Cara, Clevon, Patricia, Olive, Hollister, Linda, Jonathan, Maynard, Margaret, Louis, Sanchez, Gordy, Melka, Rosalind, Denise, Sherilyn, her my old friend, Naomi, Joanne, or Janine, Rick, my darling. You know, it does have to come to get a little tough love. You know, you love it, you like it. If you don't get that when I'm Monday, Wednesday, or Friday come, you don't feel good. Russell, Brian, Maureen, Garnett, Bolty, well, it's a mistake for a whole woman. Bolty is a man only. Okay? Pearl, Aloysius, Papa, Aloysius, no. That name from long time, real long time, boy. But it's nice, eh? Marilyn, Anthony, Margaret, Brenda, Sharon, Mary, my whole friend from Carnage, Joy, Christine, Arlene, Lucy, and Stewart. Margaret, Cheryl, Shasha, Brenda, Ophelia, Hazel, Earl, Hector. I think that person from Tobago, you know. And Mr. Hector from Tobago, thank you for from Tobago, darling. Keep listening. Joyce, Lynn, a whole friend, eh? Joyce, Hadara, Marie, Sheldon, Carolyn, Marilyn, all around. So Carolyn, Marilyn, Franca, Cherise, Arlene, Mona, Katyan, Dana, Margaret, and Tintin Pan. Oh God, it's ridiculous. Winston, my darling, you're here. I want to thank you all for all this coming to still up to and tuning in again. Actions have consequences, yeah. Consequences for your actions. Who voted for what they vote for? That time done pass. We in it already. Oh God, that night, I said 162, they built it for me. You know, because we building it, people, at the end of the day, I live in Trinidad and Tobago. I wish the government, the UNC, the best, because it's Trinidad and Tobago. However, because they have such a history, I just say, you wish them the best, eh? But because of the history, I see history repeating itself, and that's so sad. Because they get a big mandate. The people liking themselves. I hear somebody say, I don't know true, and I hope it's not true. This woman and her daughter went in, the little daughter went in this man's car, the man of Indian descent. The little girl in red and whatever. And he say, hey, you're a pain. And the little girl say, yes, I'm a pain. And he put out the mother and the daughter and cuss and whatever. If that is true, let's stop it now. Rick, tell your peeps and them stop that behavior now. Oh God, stop it now. Stop it now. We went through the election, we give we pumping thing, but it's a country to run. Let's stop it now. Because if African people withhold the finances from all the, because all they say, all they have all the business. If we withhold all the money from purchasing from all, I don't feel we don't do it, you know. Don't feel we can't do that, you know. We pass through enslavement, you know. We know it's hard and we know how to make it work, you know. If people of African descent withhold their finances from people of Indian descent who say they have all the business in this country, or they can't make it, you know. So stop that at the end of the day. We can make a little joke with pound and thing, but don't let it reach to that now. Who time now? It's all that we time now. Because the government of Trinidad and Tobago, you didn't say the government of Indian people in Trinidad. Or Caroni people. Across the Camney Bridge people. It's Trinidad and Tobago. So they inside there and they say they want to do the best for all because when them win, everybody win. Let we see the practice that. So it means all the behavior have to change too. Yeah? I just talk real talking, all in charge. All they say all they could run things better. Let me see all. I am just saying. I am looking on because they have a history. And the players I see in that UNC were even worse than 2010. Me are saying nothing good for this country, unfortunately. It might have one or two ministers who really want to do the work. I'm sure Jolie John is one of them. Who really want and trying to do the work. But trust me. You see, and Robert is again are telling you, stop making promises and jumping out yourself and talking as if you're by yourself. You're in a political party, you know, that is in government. Collective responsibility. You can't talk out that timing and feel there's a big papi. You ain't nobody there, boy. The gay are blind. There's a senator, nobody vote for. They could take back that and put somebody else in the morning. Calm yourself. Sip your tea. And Miss Felicia Thomas again are saying, they use you and abuse you and they step over you and they go on their way. Joe gone, but he's gone on the big position. They leave you with a wounded PSA, with members who telling you they want their money and you know you're not equipped to do nothing. And if it's you who, or your friend and them had a page called Revolutionary Soldier, you're a punk, you're a weak punk girl. And all who want to give me talk, they could take talk. Boy, is a snake and a backstabber and this. Okay. So where's the problem? Is I and I alone? Me have no crowd with me. Me have thousands of people. You get thousands to vote for you and you're boasting about that 2,000 out of 12,000 members. Oh, they're boasting about that. Me and nobody vote for me. Nobody don't take me on. I just keep my protest by myself. Most of the time, all I see I protesting and people know that I've got my placard and me alone. Go and protest. Me don't wait and crowd. If they ask me to join, I join. But I just go protest by myself. I don't have no crowd, you know. Because I know how people is. When they look around for them, they're not there. So I depend on I. So come on, whoever on Revolutionary Soldier, well, let's stop that choppiness now. Because I will keep saying what I'm saying. And I will answer all the suit. If I was a snake, I'm not crawling on the backside. Me crawling away wrong all here. Me bothering all here. Where's all the problem? To insult me? To say what I ugly? Okay, I don't want all the man and all the man don't want me. And if I ugly, who problem? That's my problem. White bothering all the pretty, all the nice. All of a sudden, me ugly, and I call them, oh, good grief, I'm not ashamed of my age, because not everybody could age gracefully, There are some people all in the 40s and they're looking like if they drag through. Come on, man. But I'm telling you, Felicia's at any end. Today's a birthday, John Ross. Oh gosh, let me see if I could play. John Ross said today's his birthday. Let me play something quick there for John Ross. Show him how we just do it when it's all your birthday. Always just shout out and let me know. All who celebrated birthday last month and who started celebrating this month, this one is for all you. So Rick, this is a new leaf, right? I'm not in office again. It's all your run things. You don't have to come here to boast and all that because it seems as though you're not happy. All who want to boast. Right? So this one is for John Ross. And all. Let me go, Travis. I'm feeling to sing. I'm feeling to sing. I'm feeling to sing. I'm feeling to sing. Sing happy birthday to you. Sing happy birthday.
Well, I go let the rest of them tell you to wine. Right about now, for the story. I know this big woman ever since I was small, but she never ever aged at all.
Oh gosh!
Happy birthday to one more time we go sing happy birthday to oh my God! Happy birthday to you. Sing happy birthday, sing happy.
So all those who celebrated birthday last month, all those who are celebrating birthday this month as you go along, that is for you. I love you. I love you. I love you. All. See you all. Let me see you get them. Yes, go and get back your property tax money. You're damn right. Get it back. Get it back, boy. And when I only get back all the property tax and they ain't collecting no tax, no wherever it is, and they're not going to pay nobody all the way ask going to IMF, I'm going to feel the structural rigidity. Rick, we go feel it together. If you want green fig and thing, I go send some face. You could boil it and put some salt and oil on it, and you could boil the dal and drink dal water and think we go live, but we go live together. We go live as a family, yeah? When the structural rigidity hit the backside because they give all back all the $1,000 and $2,000 and $3,000 and say, oh God, we get back the money. And oh my God, they shut down the TTRA so we collect no tax again. Oh God. And when they can't get no money nowhere, it's jamming me backside. They're going Grenada for gas. I know that. We're done with Maduro. And that gas, they have gas yet. They can't think it yet. Anything that will take 10 years. When across right there, so it have ready and waiting just to flow in the pipeline. Rick, all we go enjoy structural rigidity together, boy. Go for your damn money. You're damn right. Go for your $2,000. Go for your $3,000, go for your $4,000 and rejoice. We get back something. Oh my God, we get something. The UNC give me back something. All the lovers come, the lovers. And when all of that done, people lost in the walk. People lost in the walk all over. But we get back with property tax. Oh my goodness, they're loving this. A caring government. Oh, PNM is so wicked. They collected over taxes. But you know what? They had programs for the young people. Oh, they were paying the young people from Wassa the $450. But they were so wicked. They're taking property tax. But you know, they had subsidy on this. And you know, they had programs for the young people. Okay, now they give all the back, all the blasted money. And no program, nothing. Nobody can get structural rigidity in the backside. We go take it so. We know about stuff. We call it we just suffer, right? Always the ones that we just suffer. So we are accustomed to the sufferation. So we gonna be good, oh. It's all you. It's all you. People I love all you. See you all on Wednesday. Go spend and come to. Excuse me, when I come with something for something new. This is your girl Jen and sister Jenny. And if you want to get formal, it's Miss Jennifer Frederick and the additional We Talk D Ting. Felicia Thomas, we want with 10%. We want we money now. We want we money now. I want we money now. We want it right now. We want we money right now. We want we money right now. You see how I can protest by myself? I answer and we call all in one. I need nobody. People I love all I go. Yes, I go. Hi, Gail. I love all I go.